What's up guys, it's MrBessyTheCow here, and I'm just making this video because I literally had nothing else to do. I'm going to make a short tutorial of Age of Empires 2 since the HD edition recently came out on Steam, so there might be some new players who might want some tips and tricks. So I'm just talking over a previously recorded gameplay that I made earlier today. I was playing as the Persians, as they are my favorite civilization, and I really like the War Elephants unique units. So anyways, I'm going to be explaining exactly what I'm doing, just so you get an understanding of how to play a game. So I'm currently playing 1v1 versus standard difficulty opponents, so it wouldn't be too difficult, so you guys can get a better understanding. So right now, as you can see, I built 2 houses to raise my population limit. Now every house raises your population limit by 5 units. So in the top you could see my resources, and on the right you could see at the left is the number that currently I have, and at the right is the population limit. So every house that you build raises it up by 5. Now I currently built a mill, so I can gather from that forage bush on the top, get some food. And as you can see, I am currently getting my scout cavalry to, really scout out the land that's in front of me. And I'm currently focusing mostly on food, but I do have some villagers that are collecting wood for me too. Now, generally, in the Dark Age, you don't really need to focus too much on gold and stone. Just try to keep creating villagers to forage food for you. As you can see, I ran out of natural resources, so I started building farms for food. Now, farms are a very good resource. They only cost a little bit of wood to make, but they last a pretty long time, especially with upgrades, and they can provide you with a lot of food. Now, as you can see, I built a lumber mill there to start collecting wood from the forest. Now, one tip that I can give to you is just, keep creating villagers. The more villagers you have, really, the better. You could ask anyone who has been playing Age of Empires for quite a while, and they will tell you the same thing, that villagers are very important. They're your only source of income for food and wood, whatever, like resources, other than maybe trading cards for gold and relics for gold, but they're your only source of building. So generally just keep trying to create as many villagers as possible. You can never have too many villagers. Now, as you can see, I advanced to the feudal age quite early on. I don't like staying in the Dark Age too long. There's not a lot you can do. As you can see, I did not focus on raising a military in the Dark Age. There's really no point. The only thing you can do is a barracks, and inside the barracks, the only thing you can do is the militia, which suck. Now, as you can see, I relocated the barracks because it was too close to my town center, and generally I like to put farms around my town center. So as you can see, if I put my barracks there, that would have occupied a potential farm space, so I moved it back a little bit. So starting around the feudal age, you probably should have some people going on gold. So as you can see in the bottom left, I just made a villager create a gold mine, and he will start mining gold. The thing is, a lot of units and a lot of upgrades in the feudal age depend on gold. But stone isn't too much of a necessity just yet. So I wouldn't focus too much on stone in the feudal age. Maybe towards the end, if you want to get a little bit of stone for the castle age, because in the castle age, castles cost 650 stone each. So maybe just a little bit of stone, but don't focus too much on it. Generally focus on getting food. As you can see, I have a lot of farms being set up right now, and I'm starting to create a little bit of a military. Now, of course, I'm playing versus standard difficulty, which is why the opponent has not attacked me yet. But if you were playing against either more than one computer, or a computer that's on harder difficulty, or maybe against a real player, most likely you will notice that they will start sending in units to harass your villagers. So generally some people like to start building a military in the Dark Age, or building a military faster in the feudal age. Now, as you can see right now, I'm trying to get a wall up in case of potential attacks. So walls are generally very cheap, and they go up pretty fast. I'm actually speeding this clip up, obviously, but still walls go up pretty fast. So as you can see right now, I have a pretty stable economy. I have a few villagers on gold. Most of my villagers are doing food, and I also have a lot of villagers collecting wood for me. Now, I don't have any villagers collecting stone just yet, but I'm pretty sure that I will start doing that soon enough. Also in the background, I will be playing some metal music, but just so it won't be too boring without music. Yeah, hope you don't mind that. I should make it pretty quiet. Anyway, so the wall is pretty much going pretty well. I'm pretty sure I start getting a gate in there too. Now, the purpose of the gate, if you don't know, is to make sure that your troops can go in and out of your city, and so the enemy troops cannot. So obviously the gate only opens for allies and for yourself. It does not open for enemies. Now there you go. I started building the gate. And one of the things I really like doing for my troops is to setting them to defensive modes so that they don't chase after the scouts that are coming to my city, because obviously the scouts don't pose too much of a threat for me, but I mean, they could, I guess, potentially, but I don't generally see them as a threat. As you can see, I'm nearing the end of the feudal age. I'm about to upgrade, so that's why I sent that villager to create a stone mine right there to gather some stone, so I have some for the castle age. Now, one of the things I like about the mill is that in the Conqueror's expansion, or in the HD edition, you can make it so that it automatically reseeds farms for you, which is very good. As you can see, I started building my archery range. So it's actually very important to get these feudal age buildings up because they can actually help you a lot in the future. So the archery range obviously creates ranged units. And as you can see, I also created a market. The market doesn't serve too much of a purpose if you don't have any allies, as I do right now. It serves a lot of purpose. If you do have allies, you can build trading cards, you can research cartography, which increases your line of sight. And obviously the blacksmith, which is what I'm building right now, is extremely important as well, as it gives you immense military upgrades. And as you can see, I'm still focusing on building houses to raise my population limit so I can get a better military. Sorry. So, as you can see, I'm still focusing on my economy, but I am also creating a small army. So I'm not focusing everything on creating the army. That's one mistake that a lot of people do. They set up an economy in the beginning, get like 2,000 gold, 2,000 wood, whatever, and then start building their army. And then they completely stop paying attention to the economy, and that's basically what breaks them, because as soon as their military dies, that's it. They have nothing left. All the farms have been exhausted. They have to reseed everything. They have tons of idle villagers. Idle villagers are definitely not something that you want to have. The only situation where you want to have idle villagers, or, I mean, it doesn't really matter, is if you're 100% certain that you're going to win. Now, as you can see, I just advanced to the castle age, and the castle age is actually my favorite age. Obviously, you can build castles, monasteries, universities, a ton of new buildings available for you. The option to build more town centers is extremely important. I strongly recommend building a new town center as soon as you can, because town centers are basically the only way that you can really create villagers. So if one town center is gone, it's better to have an extra one, or 2 or 3. It depends on how many people you're playing against. As you can see, I started building a town center over there, and I'm still upgrading my military, and I still have a small army right there, ready to go in case I need them. Now, as you can see right here, I noticed that the lumber camp was a little bit too far from the forest, so it's taking a little more time for the villagers to get wood back to the lumber camp, so I decided to relocate it. And I strongly recommend getting all the updates in the lumber mill, mining camp, and mill, because they make gathering resources a ton faster, and it's just a lot better. So I started creating villagers in a new town center, also very important. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but the way my town is set up, basically all my military buildings, such as the stable, archery range, and barracks, they're closer to my gate, and all my houses and mills and markets are closer to the back. This is because in case of an attack from an enemy, which will most probably happen if you're playing against either real people or stronger opponents that are computer, it's better to have military buildings closer to the front base. That way you can quickly send out more units should there be a need for it. Now, as you can see, I started creating cavalry units such as knights, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to start creating some camels soon enough. Now here I just start exploring the enemy's base just to get a sense of how he's doing. And I see he's doing okay until I see that he still has fucking militia. He's in the castle age or in the feudal age, and he still hasn't upgraded his militia. So I'm not too worried about the enemy's army because as of right now, my military score is much higher than his. And he seems to have a pretty small town. So at the moment, I'm not too worried about the enemy. I can still safely continue doing whatever I was doing without worrying about attacks. However, one thing I do recommend doing is setting up watchtowers whenever you get the chance, which is what I didn't do in the beginning. But setting up watchtowers in your base definitely improves your defense by a lot. As you can see, I started building the monastery, and right now I am on my way to build my first castle. And again, I placed the castle closer to my gates than the back of the base, because in case of an attack, first of all, the castle shoots arrows, therefore an extra line of defense. As well, I can, send out more units in case of an attack. Now, the Persian unique unit is the War Elephant, which upgrades to the Elite War Elephant. And I like them a lot because not only are they good against units like infantry and cavalry, they're also extremely good against buildings. So basically, if you're Persians, you don't really need to waste a lot of money and time building either trebuchets or siege units, because basically the war elephants can do that for you. Now, as you can see here, I decided to build 2 watchtowers just in case. The thing is, I wasn't too worried about my defense because I knew I was playing against standard difficulty, so I wasn't worried about the enemy attacking me. But just in case, I built 2 watchtowers, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to upgrade them in the university to keeps. Alright, so there you go. That was my first castle being built, and now I'm on my way to create, I believe, 10 war elephants, which is about it's a pretty good number of unique units that you want. Approximately 10 as soon as you build a castle. I started building university. Again, university, just like the blacksmith, crucial building. It helps a lot with fortifying your city's defenses. You can upgrade from stone walls to fortified walls, which are extremely good. You can make it so that castles and towers don't have a minimum range to shoot. And there you go, I just upgraded my watchtowers to my keeps. I didn't know if you saw that, but now I have 2. Oh wait, no, those weren't keeps. Sorry, I upgraded the watchtowers to guard towers. I actually found a relic in the north of my base, so I sent a monk out to get the relic and put it back into my monastery. The relics are basically, there are 5 relics per map, and if you collect relics with monks and put them back into your monastery, you gradually get gold. So it's kind of a good way to get gold, I guess. Also, if you control all 5 relics, then there's the countdown timer, and if the countdown timer reaches 0, then basically you win the game. And the same thing can happen to your enemy. But I didn't set that right for this game. I just sent it as conquest victory, which means that I have to basically kill the opponent to win. There's no such thing as relic victories or wonder victories. So as you can see right now, since I'm creating more of a military, obviously units require food. So I started building more farms, and I started collecting more gold because upgrades right now require gold. As you can see right now, I'm just kind of chilling right now with my army because I'm trying to collect more resources so I can build more upgrades. Because right now I'm basically starting to plan my attack on the enemy because I'm pretty sure I'm in the Imperial Age right now. Sorry, I can't really see because I'm in Vegas and it's a pretty small screen, but when you're in the Imperial Age and you still haven't attacked your enemy, it's a pretty good time to think about actually attacking your enemy. So just start building a military, and don't forget about your villagers. Even if you're attacking, just keep looking back at them. I mean, if you know that you're gonna obviously destroy the enemy and there's really no point in collecting any more resources, I mean, it's not too crucial. But let's say, for example, you're playing in an 8-person game. You're going to attack 1 person. You still have to make sure that your economy is doing well because there's still like 7 more people or 6 more people that you have to get rid of depending on how many enemies you have. So if you have more than 1 enemy, just because you're attacking 1 enemy doesn't mean that you have to stop focusing on your economy. That's very crucial. A lot of people make that mistake. So right now, as you can see, I'm still upgrading my military basically. Not doing too much about monks because for the Persians, the monks don't have redemption, which makes them convert buildings. But basically, I'm just using my monks as a healing unit. And as you can see, I'm moving my military out of my base. And I'm pretty sure right now, the enemy will start sending in units towards my, if I remember correctly, the enemy will start sending in units to attack me, but it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Now I'm still waiting to upgrade my Cavaliers into Paladins. Again, when you're attacking, just try to make as many military upgrades as you can. Now this is a tiny map, obviously, because it's 1v1. I can see the enemy base is like 2 seconds away from me. So approximately this much of an army is good enough, basically. I sent out a camel to scout forward because camels are the fastest in my army. As you can see, they do have a little bit of units attacking me, but it isn't a problem. I mean, I have a huge army, including war elephants, and I start attacking that siege workshop. The first thing I see, siege workshop, that can be dangerous. The enemy can spawn onagers, siege onagers, mangonels, basically everything that can destroy infantry pretty easily. Also battering rams. So siege workshops, definitely try to take them out. There you go, done. I see they have a wall. They start sending in two-handed swordsmen to attack me. There's a siege ram. Actually, there's a battering ram. And as you can see, basically, I stopped worrying about my economy as of right now. I mean, I still have villagers that are still collecting resources, but I'm not constantly checking back on them because I know basically that I'm going to win. As you can see, the score in the bottom right corner, I am way above the enemy, so as you can see, my monks are using their healing powers to heal me, which is very good, and I start attacking the wall to break into his base to attack. Now, I'm pretty sure those are stone wall, which is why it was pretty easy to take him out. But yeah, so this is basically when I start attacking the enemy. And as you can see, he's sending in villagers. Now, destroying enemy villagers is extremely crucial. Villagers can easily create other barracks, archery ranges, stables, even walls. Basically, so if you're attacking, make sure to kill every villager you see. Villagers are surprisingly your #1 enemy, so just keep attacking villagers. Now, if this was a more professional game, basically you would try to take out the economy first, which is why I took out the mill as a mistake, because I completely forgot I was playing against standard computers. Then I realized that he doesn't have much of an army, so I just started attacking his town center, and as soon as I started attacking his town center, it was over. That was his only town center. I noticed he was building a castle, so I just attacked that villager, and this is about it. It's the end of the game right here. He resigned as soon as I destroyed his potential castle. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a little bit of tactics and early game strategy. I'll definitely be posting up more in-depth tutorials soon. And thank you guys for watching. And yeah, expect more Age of Empires 2 tutorials. See ya.